I'm saying all those things that are online that are like, oh,
Don't take pills unless they're for public.
All right, everyone. Well, welcome back to another episode of Living with Audacity. It is your favorite host, Aisha. And today I have a guest, Derick.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
I'm chilling. I'm good. I'm good. Like I said before we started, the life is burning down.
Life is burning down, but we're going to make it happen.
That's baseline.
This is what living with Audacity is. The ability to just maintain a vibe, even when things around us are...
If you're doing it well, then you always got stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, today's going to be a good conversation.
I know.
I'll do a little intro about Derick before we get into it. But I am actually really happy to have you. And today's conversation is all about being unapologetically well. So as you know, Living with Audacity is all about the ways in which we show up audaciously, that we're authentic, that we're unapologetic. And as you know, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on YouTube, if you follow me everywhere, which hopefully you do, you know that wellness for me isn't about like an afterthought. It's actively the way in which you need to operate in order to show up as your best self. And so this is why I have my friend, which is so awkward to say because I like to maintain this like enemy relationship with you, but this is actually my frenemies, but also my trainer. For those who love to comment online about how cute I look, I do have to offer contribution and thanks to at Quiktrain, founder and owner of Quiktrain. So I'm going to do a quick bio about Derick, and then we're going to get into it because this is why like the people really want to hear you.
Okay.
Maybe versus me.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So Derick, along with obviously having the luxury of being my friend, is the founder of Quiktrain Online Fitness Coaching and a franchise owner with the Popeyes Supplements Toronto Group. Quiktrain Fitness Coaching has been helping busy people like myself who work, have kids, also run a business, really get fat loss results for over a decade using very simple but impactful client-centric programs, practical nutritional strategies, and sound supplement device. If you want to follow Derick, which I really recommend that you do, you can follow him at Quiktrain. So that's Quiktrain on Instagram.
No C.
No C. Okay, no C. I make that mistake sometimes. Or www.quiktrain.ca, but I will put all the information when this actually goes live. So again, welcome, Derick.
Thank you.
Again, it's nice to have you join me on Living with Audacity Season 2. Just for the record, this is second season.
That's cool. That's cool. This is congratulations.
Thank you.
This is official. The episode polished.
Right?
Yeah, I'm in a real podcast.
Right? This is what I'm trying to say. I don't do small.
Yeah, this is great.
I don't do small.
Yeah, the chair is really comfortable.
Yeah.
Quite velvety.
Quite velvety.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
excellent. Perspective Studio Productions. Please check them out.
Big up yourself.
Right? But today there's a few things that I want to talk about when we talk about unapologetically well and really the bold side of self-care. And kind of one of the things that I talk about as self-care often is couched as like these cute kind of luxurious things like, oh, get a bubble bath or, oh, get a massage, which are not bad things. But I think one of the things that I also really admire about you is your understanding of self-care as like foundational to being able to manage and, like you say, maintain this baseline of like calm and chill with an understanding that things are going to ebb and flow. Mm-hmm. And I think that from what I've experienced with myself, I think things that I've heard from other people, it's a struggle. Like people really struggle to make their wellness a priority.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I kind of want to get into. I have some questions that I want to ask you. Some of them, I'm going to be honest, they might ruffle your feathers, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to ruffle your feathers and just, maybe create some dialogue. But like for those who want to get online and like hate, keep it to yourself. Okay, just putting that out there.
No,
sorry, Derick. You know what? You're right, Derick.
We love the hate.
Yeah, Derick loves a good.
Yes.
A little argument.
Yep. A little tension online is not bad.
It's not bad at all. Okay. All right. So we're going to start the first one. For me, many people still associate self-care with luxury or indulgence. And so how do we shift the narrative toward intentional wellness instead of just this occasional escape? Like, I'm just going to take a moment for myself. How do you, even in like your line of work, as a trainer, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's, in my opinion, really epitomizes what it means to take care of themselves, what could that look like?
So, in my opinion, you have to focus on what matters the most, right? And that involves some self-reflection. Mm-hmm. It involves looking at, different aspects of your life. Like, I think the main buckets would be family, mm-hmm. friends, health, and career. Mm-hmm. So of all those things, what matters the most to you? And I don't think that you can do them all at 100% all the time. So you just have to get to planning out how you're going to execute your day-to-day and what habits you're going to take on to be able to make progress in each of those different places. Mm-hmm. Self-care oftentimes masquerades, as, spa days or glasses of wine at the end of the day.
Every day.
And that indulgence, that escapism is what I called it, is just, it's detracting from what you really want in life. Mm-hmm. What you really, so if you want to get fit, maybe that weekend bender is not a choice that you should be making, right? You're just forgetting about exactly what it is that you really want in life. So figure out what you really want in life and make sure that it's not tied to some kind of a commercial interest, right? Because
that's a big one. That's a big one.
Why do you want what you want?
Yeah.
Do you want the expensive handbag because you want to carry your stuff better?
Yeah.
Or you want to carry more stuff? No, you probably want it for the way that makes you feel.
Yeah.
Right. And when you have a level of fulfillment and a level of trust in yourself that you're making progress in the direction that you want to make progress in, then nobody can take that away from you. So make sure that you're filling those buckets, and you set up a plan for yourself and something that's sustainable, that's not going to burn you out. So you won't need to take off for a weekend in order to, just reset. Yeah. You shouldn't need a reset. It looks like self-care looks like discipline. Self-care looks like consistency.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Which one is it? I never get this right. Would you clock it, write it, clock it? I don't know. Clock it. Right? And I love that, because I think like one of the things that you said was like, what's your motivation? And I find a lot of times, I'm not a personal trainer by any means. This is why I have Derick. But one of the things that I consistently hear is like, okay, so I have a reunion that's coming up and I got to drop 30 pounds, or summer's coming and like, now I'm going to jump into it. And I'm kind of like, sure.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's your motivation, in my opinion, again, your motivation is wrong, because you'll probably do what you need to do for those 6 months, 3 months, 5 months, whatever. But it's not a consistent habit because it's driven by.
Well, you know how I am.
Yeah.
If things are complicated, then your job is to simplify, right? Yeah. So if you could take what you do in the 3 months before your vacation and give yourself a year, then you'd feel great. So I think in that, so as a trainer, if I'm listening to someone talk about that, I'm like, what you need to do is zoom out.
Yeah.
And you need to enter into this next phase thinking about what you're going to look like in a year or 2 or even 3, depending on where you're starting. Yeah. For people that are in their 40s, you're looking at, if you've never trained before, to get to where a place in fitness where you're comfortable with your weight, comfortable with the way your body moves, with the way your body feels and functions, you're talking 3 years. Yeah. And that's just reality. If you've never trained before, it's going to be 3 years. If you train moderately,
you've literally given everybody a heart attack, just so you know.
But
people want like this.
We all know, like if you have kids, you know how fast 3 years goes by. Right? It goes by like this.
Like that.
Right?
Yep.
So the idea is to get started and to begin to iterate that process, because it's not going to be perfect. It's going to suck. It's not going to feel good. But if you start with the right mindset and you put and focus on process as opposed to outcome, then the outcome comes regardless. Right? So again, as a coach, that's what our job is, to make sure that you're focused on different types of process goals as opposed to just, outcome goals. Which is the 3-month vacation, right? Yeah. And so again, it's a shift in mindset, because when you're not on vacation, you're showing up to your job, you're showing up to family events, you're showing up to friends. And it's like, how do you want to show up in that world, in your own life? Yeah. Right. Not in your escape.
That's escape.
Not in your vacation. Not, you're not looking for that really, really good beach picture. You're looking to show up as that person everywhere all the time. Go. Yeah. Everywhere you go. Be the person that if you were to, break up with your boyfriend, let's say, you know the revenge body? Right? all of a sudden everyone knows exactly what to do. When the relationship ends, they know exactly what to do. If the vacation's coming, all of a sudden all confusion ends and they know exactly what they're supposed to do.
They hyper focus. It's so true. That's so true. And that actually kind of tails into the next question, which is for you, like, how do you support clients in developing mental and emotional resilience, not just the physical fitness? Because to your point, and I will again speak for my own self, like there's the physical side of it, which again, I can push myself, but there's definitely days that I got to tap in and be like, okay, Aisha, you're tired, you've got a lot going on, it's been a long week, but like, you know the outcome when you finish training, right? So how do you help people? Because I do feel sometimes that might be a bigger barrier. I don't know. Then
so again, setting process goals along the way that allow you to really celebrate doing the actions, right? People are far too, enthralled with the end result. I lost 2 pounds, I lost 5 pounds. And like, let's face it, if you've met the people that have lost the same 20 pounds for the last 20 years, right? Over and over and over and over again. They get their flowers and then they gain it back. And they get their flowers again the next summer or next year, then they get it again, right? So you set process goals that allow someone to actually become and convince himself and to create the proof that they can actually sustain it. And it comes through just good habit creation. Good habit creation looks like simplification. You start, like, let's say, so I own a supplement store. So part of habit creation also is attaching habits to things that you already do. So we talk about in my store taking a multivitamin, for instance. And I ask people point blank, I'm like, you brush your teeth? Yeah. They're like, yeah.
I hope that people say yes.
They always say yes, even if they don't. They're probably going to start after that conversation. But do you brush your teeth? Yes. Well, then stick your multivitamin beside your cup of water so you can take them both together. Right? That's something that's simple that they can do. And, for some people, the catalyst can be something as small as taking a multivitamin every day. But gradually, you start to increase your trust in yourself. So it's about building up those stacks of proof that you can actually do this habit. So that's where the structure comes in, and that's where focusing on the process comes in. Also zooming out. So say, be realistic with somebody. Say, look, this is probably the 15th summer, right? The 15th summer that you're like, I got to lose weight. I got to do this. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy.
Like, let's keep it 100.
Let's keep it 100. When you sit down with me, you're going to commit to doing this for a year. And we're going to do this for a full year, and then we'll see where we're at. But what we're going to focus on is the drinking water. We're going to focus on the whole foods. We're going to focus on getting steps in every day. We're going to. It looks different for everybody, but no task is too small. You meet people where they're at. Okay, and you progress from there. And all along the way, they start to develop the confidence. But again, as a trainer, you zoom out and you say, "Look, this is the totality of what we're trying to do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to take a long time, but a year is going to pass regardless. But what I'm going to promise you is that if you roll with me, then we're going to be in a much better place after a year than you would have been by yourself."
I'd like to say that I am the result of like when you stick with it. I agree. And I think someone, even before connecting with you, I thought I was doing good practices, which is not to say that I wasn't, but I agree with you when you have someone that can kind of refine and give you information or insight outside of your own head. Because one of the things I always talk about, just in general with living with Audacity, it's amazing how we can convince ourselves of bullshit. Like we really do a good job of being like, oh yeah, I made this minor change. And like kudos to myself for like, I'll be honest, like the mediocrity type of thing. But when you have someone's like, okay, that's good. However, this actually needs to be better.
And mediocrity is normalized, and there's a performative aspect of fitness and health where, excuse me, where people are talking a lot about it. They're taking in like podcast information, and they're kind of mulling over a lot of details, which leads to a lot of analysis paralysis. So the key is like, back of the napkin. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Honestly, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna start execution. And we're gonna start that process of iteration. We're gonna figure out what works for you, because everyone thinks they're so special, right? And people are individual in their likes and preferences and lifestyle and stuff like that. So that is true. But generally speaking, there's some very simple things that apply to everybody that you could start to do. Now, once you start the process, you could, like if you're not a breakfast person or you are a breakfast person or you work out in the morning versus the evening or the afternoon at lunch, we're going to have to move things around, in part just to accommodate you individually. Yeah. But if you look at where the through line is, then everyone is very, very, very similar. Yeah. So the idea is to just get started. Okay. It doesn't have to be complicated, right?
Just get started.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be on a Monday or January 1st.
It doesn't have to be.
That's also my thing. Like,
in fact, if you're trying to do high rocks, don't call me. Don't call me. If you're trying to do high rock, call me for 2028. Okay. So don't that's hard. Like I just talked to people this past weekend that did high rocks, and they were like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm glad I made it. Yeah. I'm glad
I had a friend who did it. Same thing.
I'm glad I'm still with us because there was a moment where it wasn't, I thought I was about to check out. I was about to peace out. Done. And that was it.
2028. Pass away. Not before that. Not before 2028, guys. All right. So now what, even for yourself, right? As someone who, as you said, you're very busy, you're a dad, you're a husband, you run multiple businesses, actually, not just one. For yourself, what practices do you employ on a consistent basis that allows you, again, to protect your peace or ensure that, again, you are taking care of yours? I
was gonna say my peace is not protected. If you have 2 kids under the age of 6, there's no protecting your peace.
There isn't. I'm in a place of protecting my peace. I'm in a place.
My kids are running around. I'm like, this is not peaceful. I'm reading this stuff, what we're gonna talk about. I'm like, I don't feel peaceful at all.
Right, because they're like,
I'm gonna protect my peace. Get your ass upstairs so I can finish my work. But no, again, it comes down to consistency. How are you filling those buckets? Are you giving everything what it needs? And my priorities right now, I think you could probably attest to this as well. If you're giving more to your business, then the family time has to dial down a little bit. If you're giving more to your friends, then you may not have as much time for fitness, right? So you have to be able to make, those adjustments in order to maintain all those places in order of what your priority is. And there's going to be seasons in your life where you're like, it's business time. I got to push. I got to be at this for 3 months. I have a project and this has to get done. But when that's done, then you're like, okay, it's time to replenish and rekindle and reconnect with my friends and my family. So for me, I just try to look at those 4 buckets and make sure that those are being taken care of. And then the basics of everything to me, especially as a trainer, is your body, because your body holds your mind. The way you fuel your body is going to determine how well you handle stress. The way you sleep is going to determine how well you think and how well your brain works and how tolerant you are to, these little people that you have running around your house making a ton of mistakes, right? Because your job is to guide and to be patient. Right. So for me, the health is always, I do that first. It's just that. So I wake up every day, I go to the gym first. And if no matter what's happening, I will, rather than work out in the evening, I'll just wake up a little bit earlier. So I get that sleep. I try to get that sleep piece right. I avoid watching TV at night. I avoid engaging in anything that's going to be overstimulating at night. And I wind down. I wind all the way down. I get up at 5 a.m. and then I get after it. So even this morning, I went on a 5K run this morning, and just in preparation for this, because there's a lot of studies that connect the way your brain functions to cardiovascular exercise. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to be sharp, I got to get a 5K in this morning before I come.
Because I'm on it.
On it
all day. But I agree with you, because again, I feel like you do have to make it a priority, and I'm going to, again, probably make an unpopular opinion, but I think when it comes to women, I think this is a big area of struggle around this balance thing, right? That you gotta, you're giving to your kids, which I get, you're giving to your partner, you're giving to your career, or whatever that looks like, and then we're left second. And I absolutely operate with a mindset, and have for a good number of years, that in order for me to be the kind of wife and the kind of mother and the kind of friend and entrepreneur, requires me to actually make myself a priority. So same thing, first thing in the morning is me. I get up. I'm an early riser. I
actually admire how much that you get done.
Yeah,
I do. It's commendable. I have to give you that compliment, because you do as a mom of 3. Yeah. And that maintains her friendship circles very well. Yeah. Obviously has a growing business as well, and it's You do a lot as well. So yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
commendable.
Look at that. It's online. I'm gonna make sure. But no, I appreciate that because it isn't easy. Like it isn't easy by any means. But I definitely, as someone who experienced burnout, like not a few years ago, but quite some time, like when I was pregnant with my third, I absolutely hit burnout.
How'd you know?
I knew because you never heard this story?
No.
Oh my God. So I was pregnant with Zeke. I was doing my master's. I was working full time.
Oh, I think I know.
Yes.
I do know the story.
And
but you can tell it again because it's good.
Raged over I don't know what and swept raw chicken and plates off my counter.
Yep.
I think Dwayne might have asked me a simple question and I
That was it.
lost it.
That was the straw.
That was the straw. And I went upstairs and I cried and then I stopped crying. I was like, ooh. I literally was like,
just ruined my
I
marriage.
may have just taken it too far. And I actually sat in the bathroom longer than I needed to because I was like, I gotta carry this out.
Yeah.
I just lost my shit.
Yeah.
And it was at that point that I was like, nope, I am doing too much for everyone else. And I wasn't taking care of myself. I was also like abusing classmates. Like I was doing the most.
Yeah.
So I had Zeke and that was a very big game changer for me because I was like, I don't want my kids to see me like that. I don't want to react to them in a way where they're asking me a question and I'm flying off the handle. And so I pivoted. And I was like, nope, I'm going to be very intentional with my time. I'm going to get comfortable with boundaries, saying no when I need to.
Yep.
And that kind of brings me to another question around balance. Because we always talk about like, well, you can balance this and this and this. And you said it before, that there will be times that something takes precedence over another.
That's
so
right.
balance doesn't exist. So do you feel like this whole concept of everything can be balanced is overrated? Like, do we put pressure for people to believe like you can literally give 100 across the board? Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't. It's just not realistic. And you have to give yourself some grace. Those mornings are really cool because especially if you don't turn on your phone, and again,
other than for music,
I'm guilty. For music, but I mean, like just especially getting into social media, and you kind of sit with yourself and figure out what you want the most and kind of what pops into your head, what's important, what are you thinking about, what's on your mind. If you can identify what it is you want the most, then you make sure that you're filling that bucket and creating boundaries around kind of everything else, right? So that's really what it is. I think balance is super overrated. There's never anybody that is, you're never gonna, say that person is extremely balanced. And so there's one thing that they do extremely well. And chances are they had to say no to a lot of other things in order to develop that skill or develop that one area of their life. So, I think balance is definitely overrated, but there are things that are important that has to be considered at all times, especially if you have a family. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so as an example, so again, you have 2 young children. How do you, or what is your, this is totally off my head because it just came to me. What practices do you instill in them when it comes to, again, boundaries and protecting their, I mean, again, I know they're younger, so like their life is, they're living their best life.
That's a good question.
Right?
That's a good question.
But like, how do you mirror that? Because I'm mindful. My kids are 16, 13, and 10. And I'm definitely in a stage, I will say, of parenting where I am more mentoring, coaching, and particularly with the girls, helping them understand like the importance of boundaries and taking care of yourself, not just physically because they're very active, but emotionally and mentally, and being able to understand when you need to tap out.
I love that question.
Right?
Because I'm actually thinking a lot about that lately. And it just all comes down to you.
Yeah.
It all comes down to you. It all comes down to you. And again, going back to how the passage of time, especially when you have kids, it's like you're in a time warp. Like things happen so quickly. You got to iterate and you got to check yourself in many different areas. So if you're losing your temper over things that are happening, over mistakes that are being made, or corrections that haven't happened, if you told someone, a 3-year-old a bunch of times to do something they haven't listened yet, that's just how their brains work. But if you start getting upset, then they're going to learn. It's going to actually lower their capacity to handle stressful situations as well. So what you're trying to do is increase their capacity by making them as much, first of all, the things that you want to see in them, you have to do yourself. So even for myself, like I started running just in front of my house. Even if I go for a run, by the time they get up, they'll see me running up and down. And it's really cute because my daughter will come outside, like she'll get dressed super fast and then she'll just come running down and she'll be like, I want to run with you, Daddy. So we'll do some running in the front. So you got to do it yourself. But secondly, just general household, like feeling like they're part of the household and giving them chores. So, my daughter every Sunday, I carry a laundry bag downstairs for her, and she, puts the clothes in the wash and all that kind of stuff. And then she comes back down, puts clothes in the dryer, and she helps to fold the clothes. She knows that she has to take her bowl. So there's no, I say we don't have any babies.
Yeah. You have hands, you have feet. You can make the mess. You could clean up the mess.
So Tyson's 3. So he's really happy because his laundry bag is on the way. Right. So after he's done, he's going to be taking his stuff from the bathroom and putting it in his laundry bag. Right. So it's little things like that you make them feel part of the household and build their self-efficacy. Right. So I think those are the most important things to do with kids. It's just, it's all about you. It's all about how you react, all about you, how you take care of yourself. If they see you in the morning getting up every single day because you got to work out, because you got to, maintain your body, and they see you eating right, surrounding food, that's a really important thing for us as well. So even down to the way that we deliver and plate the food, it's always, okay, we're going fruit. We're going protein. We're going and the carbs aren't a bad thing for kids. And I'm not saying they need their carbohydrates. They're growing, right? But if there's going to be a treat, like ice cream or pie or whatever the case is, then it all comes after the important stuff. So they start to understand how to prioritize, and it's such a great thing to hear them say. They go to school and they say, this kid didn't, had their snack before they had their lunch. And this kid, they're just ratting everybody out, right? For bad habits. But now you're building that mental scaffolding that allows them to kind of, view the world, that lens to view the world through. So, you're just, it all comes down to you. So parents that, keep a lot of junk food in the house, parents that make excuses about working, not working out, that they're just going to end up, they're not, they're kids perpetuating, do what you do. They don't do what you say.
100%. And I think, again, having teenagers, being able to see, when the kids were younger, doing that exact same thing, like you have your fruit, you have your vegetables, you have your carbs. Again, if you want treats, then it has to come after. But now being able to see how those habits are naturally built into them because they're older. So I don't have the time or the desire to do that depth. But even like when they're cooking or when they're making their own foods or when they're making their own lunch, like being able to see like those are they know what choices they need to. Now, is it perfect? Not always.
Definitely. It doesn't have to be. And this is a little bit of a morbid thing to say, but I truthfully look at raising my children is I am preparing them for a world without me. And so if I were to go tomorrow,
would they be able
what would they do? How would they manage? How would they handle it? And they're obviously very young right now, but you're trying to get as much stuff in there as you can, enough good stuff so that they'll be able to navigate the world without you.
I agree. And I think you're also countering, I'll be honest, you're countering a lot of the like bullshit that's also out there, right? Again, my kids are older, so they're definitely far more exposed to just
there's a lot of bullshit.
Oh my God. It's
so one thing we don't do, and this is not for anybody else to do. This is what I do personally. There was a time where we used to use television as, a treat. And we just found that it was such a strong pulling force. And it actually made me sick to my stomach to watch something and see how many advertisements were shown during the course of this very short
little
program.
Show.
And also, it was scary to see that when you pulled them away from it, how they behave.
They're like,
so like
jonesing.
They're jonesing. So little crackheads. So I guess it's terrible. So I was like, no. I was like, guys, guess what? I came home one day. I was like, I have something to tell you. Great news. We're never watching TV again.
They're like,
no. They're like, well, sometimes. I'm like, never. Like sometimes, like maybe once in a while. Never. On my birthday, never. That was, and they were just like, and I'm like, but you're going to get better at math. You're going to get better at reading. And kids adjust.
Yeah, they do. My God.
So they adjusted. They don't even think about it anymore.
100.
They literally
really
don't think about it. They just play. I have 2 kids that play like, I was going to say play well with each other. That's a complete lie. They're fighting all the time. But I
would say it gets better, but it doesn't.
Yeah, they just play. They play. They use their imaginations. That's what you want, right? You don't want something constantly grabbing their attention. You want that two-way feedback. I do. I feel. I see. I touch. Like, you don't want just information just coming at them, because they're impressionable.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
This is the time where you want to build up their own ability to think. And the other thing is that we prioritize. You spend time with us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As we spend as much time as a family as possible, because so they're going to pick up on our habits as well.
Yeah.
And then we have an ability to kind of influence them in the right way. And we can micro adjust for different things that we find, like, little things that make them feel uncomfortable, little things that make them feel insecure, little things that take their confidence. And so you can make those micro adjustments. So
it's so much easier to do, I will say, and that's again a great point. It's so much easier to do when they're younger. And I know, I mean, again, West Indian background, it's like, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent. And so a lot of times I remember when the kids are small, they'd be like, so-and-so can do this. And I'm like, okay. Like,
no, you said something smart there. So?
Yeah.
There was some
so, right? And it's kind of still, I mean, they don't do it as much now because they know. But again, I think it's so important. I know we're talking about like self-care and all those things, but it's so important to instill that in young children, because I also do a lot of work with youth, and I see the outcome of those kind of baseline lessons not being instilled in them.
So many things, everything can build confidence when you're that young. Everything can build confidence. And also a lot of things will take confidence away. So the way you speak to them, the
environment that they're in,
all that kind of stuff. It's really, so you have to make sure that, you're making them part of, like, you're treating them like they're a functioning member of your household. So they have chores, they're helping, and that's how they build their self-esteem. That's how they build that voice inside them that says, you know what, I can do this because I've done a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I put my clothes away. I help with breakfast. I put
away dishes.
I do all that stuff. So they don't have a problem taking on new tasks, right? As adults and as young adults.
Yes, because we definitely need to counter some of the.
Man, I need help in the house, man. I'm training them to be housekeepers.
Soldiers, listen. I'm telling you,
housekeepers, man.
We have a nice little piece of property. I was like, well, guess what, guys? Guess what we're doing on Sunday?
That's it.
We're raking.
Man.
We're doing all the.
But
things.
they love that stuff.
Of course they do.
They love that stuff.
Yeah,
they really do.
And again, it helps. Even though sometimes I will be honest, it's not like my kids are like, oh my God, like this is so exciting. We get to clean out the garage. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you also know how to function. Like, you know how to manage, you know how to balance, you know how to like complete a task. Like it's again, being able to watch my children as they get older. Iman is 16. She's literally a year and a half away from going to university, right? Wherever she decides, which is crazy, wild to think. So again, for me, it's like, how do I ensure that you can manage on your own if you have this desire to go away, which she absolutely does. She's trying to get out of the house, get away from you. Which is fine, right? Like, I get it.
Away from all the chores.
Right, get all the chores.
Never clean the garage. Right. Never clean the garage again. Ever.
Well, now
my own garage, and I will never clean it.
So you realize how much it costs to do so. You're going to be able to try to live with me forever.
She'll be right back where she started.
100%. But it's so important, and I'm just always mindful that I am out of this phase, as I said, of parenting, and really just now coaching.
That's right.
And mentoring for you to enter into the world, right? And to be a good human. Okay.
Yeah.